Today is December 31st, 2017. It is 8:58 p.m. New York Eastern Standard Time. I am now making this recording today. I have some messages to share that have been guided by Spirit. Approximately, I would say around 6 a.m. this morning, I was in conversation with my soul sister, Monique. I call her my she's one of my, I guess, my twin rays and sisters. And I was just talking to her, thanking her for just being there for me to be able to speak with her at that time of the morning and loving me unconditionally. And I was just mentioning to her how much I appreciate her because, just the things that I've been working through with what I had went through with separation with my family for the past 3 years. During the holidays, and we happened to have had a reunion this past Christmas, and it was so beautiful. I was in so much joy, so much joy. I was elevated to the max. It's like it was a reunion of a great magnitude because, I always talk that the union is not just a union with your beloveds, but it's union with your families, union with your neighbors, union with your coworkers. It's what comes together. And, one of the things that I do plan to talk to extensively, and I'm just going to touch just some things briefly, because one of the purposes of what I'm doing this recording is that I have some tones and languages that were flowing through me, different dialects, different tones. And in some aspects, I am speaking as the male aspect and also the female aspect, the male energy, the female energy, the feminine, the masculine. And I was taken into many, many countries because, as you know, I am the reincarnation of the daughter who started out at the beginning of time. The beginning of time in many lands where everything was brought into customary aspects through language, through, rituals. Things were broken down in terms of the languages and the dialects that we spoke. We were brought into separate categories of race, cultures, religion, you name it. Here we are. Remember that we cause ourselves to forget who we are so we can remember who we are. We desire to experience what things will be like in the physical body. And so I was bringing in more DNA codes that were shifting in through my soul based on things that I cleared the previous hours. And so whatever dialects and tones you're going to hear, you may feel jolts in your body. You may feel activated. You may feel like you're going to speak and respond to what you're hearing. It comes in intervals and it comes in stages. So I just want to at least give the messages that I'm being guided to give, the main ones before, if you haven't already brought in the new year, it doesn't matter because we are still processing through things. And, a lot of people that I've come into contact with, whether through readings, through my son that I was talking to for several hours yesterday, is that things are going to appear very chaotic around you, very chaotic. You'll feel like you're not able to do certain things at a certain time. You feel like as if certain time frames you want to sleep, it's not happening. Certain foods that you weren't eating before, all of a sudden you find yourself eating it. Just go with that flow and just know that, Spirit is bringing us to a point where we are truly releasing all the things that we're accustomed to, all the things that we're desiring to do that we may not be able to do it anymore. It's all shifting and changing drastically. And so it's to be in that space of surrendering to the all there is, being in that space of surrendering to what you may fear as the unknown, being in that space of surrendering to the customs that you have been used to, being in that surrendering of things that you have been taught from the time that you were growing up, and also knowing that you're in that space of releasing the things that you're holding within your soul that no longer serves you. We're also still clearing ancestral programming. We're clearing things that we call generational curses, things that have been passed down from one generation to the next, mental illnesses, physical illnesses, emotional disturbances, emotional feelings, things that are not in balance when it comes to your emotional body. Healing through those emotions and whatever comes up to the surface to look at, to pay attention to. So just know that the codes that you're hearing, you may not understand what it is saying, because it's not to be said in words. It's to be felt through your soul. It is something that comes in as a recognition from my soul to yours, and still knowing that we're all connected. We're all one. So, one of the things that because there's just some key things that I wanted to mention before I start playing the tones and playing the little messages that was given to me, is that one of the things that had come to my attention based on the readings that I did yesterday and conversations with some divine feminine twins is that there's a frequency that is being held on to do with the love that we have for our divine counterparts. And it could be from the female to the male or the male to the female, it doesn't matter. And it has to do with when you feel love for someone and you're in love with someone, it doesn't matter what status they're in. It doesn't matter what category they're in. It doesn't matter what color their skin is. It doesn't matter what religious background they come from. It doesn't matter the age difference. It doesn't matter what you may like and the other person may not like, because love is all there is. Love is what exists. Because you see, when I went to reconnect with my family, with my children, and we were at my Christmas party, if you want to have an idea of what it was like for me, please feel free to go on my Facebook page, Sharon Andrea, and you will see, you will feel what that energy was like for me, because I was always the DJ. I was always the one that plays the music and bring things together when it comes to joy and laughter, the comedy and spontaneity, playing musical chairs, dancing, line dancing, what it does for the soul when we come together collectively. And no matter what differences took place, and it really wasn't differences, just because I was going through major shifts within myself, and I was appointed by God, as many of you have been, for your own family generational lines. You see, as we come together through this number 717 frequency, 616, 666 frequency, all these sacred geometrical codes, and when I took a step back, in retrospect, in hindsight, after everything was done. Of course, I was exhausted beyond measure, but all that matters is that I had such a blast. Is that no matter what my aunts may not have understood what was happening with me and what they were perceiving to be with what they thought was happening, but they didn't have the entire picture. And then I knew that we were clearing things, and I knew that I was going through a lot of stuff that I was bringing out of me that was being held on, not only with myself, but my divine complement and my twin soul. And in the midst of all the laughter and all of that joy, no matter what differences there were, no matter what was perceived, no matter what was misunderstood, no matter what was understood, all that remained was love. I didn't go into any conversations with, all I told my aunt, my mother's second youngest sister, I told her, I said, I missed her. And she said, it's okay, Sharon, I understand. And when she was saying certain things, I knew that she shifted with certain things, My other aunt, she had still a bit of fear, but I was still in her home, and she saw and she could see I was still in my joy, was just glowing. And still, no matter what anyone else was feeling, all that matters is that they missed me so much. My family, my cousins especially, they missed me so much, and all that remained was love. Love. So for those of you out there that have twin souls and divine complement or higher soulmate, whatever you want to call it, the one you're connected to, the one that God anointed, the one that God has put together with you, that has put together that you were created from this aspect from the beginning of time. The beginning of time. Nothing or no one, no power can separate this. What God has joined together, let no man, woman, or anything can put it asunder. You know who you're connected to. You know what has been brought to you by the divine. And so if your twin is married, if your twin or your divine soulmate is with someone else, if your divine twin or soulmate, whatever, the person you're connected to is in another country, is of a different aspect, and they're different family background, all that matters is that you are an expression of love with one another. And so anything that you hold in your frequency that, I can't disrespect that, or I can't do it, let it go. Let it go. because all that matters is love. Again, love. And you see, everything shows up as a demonstration is how much are we going to be authentic and aligned with this truth of who we love and where we're taking this love, this higher expression of love. Interestingly, I'm not going to go into great details with it, but 2 more divine feminines have come into my space where they're telling me that they've met someone else who is a close match to their twin, and they were getting confused thinking if that person was actually their twin instead of the other person. And so I never tell anyone who their twin is. I never tell anyone if that's their twin or not or anything, because it's something that you connect to, because you can feel it. It comes within your own feelings, your own thoughts that come into what comes together and what is being shown to you from the higher realms. See, because the veil is so thin now that everything is becoming more and more transparent. And so we are to align with the truth of who we love, and we are to align with the truth of who we're connected to. And we're to align with the truth of what we know that no longer serves us, to let it go. And that includes the belief system, especially surrounding marriages and relationships. Yeshua, also known as Jesus, was asked, if I was married to this person and another person, who am I married to when I get to heaven? And Yeshua said, in heaven, there is no marriage. See? So this is about letting go of a frequency that, you are connected to someone, of course, and we're able to be in love with one another, but it doesn't mean that we may engage in anything physical with that person as far as someone who you're not necessarily connected to as far as your higher soulmate. But there's just so many categories of where this falls into place, which of course I'll go into a greater detail at another time because I don't want it to be confusing. But this is more stemming from the fact that there are some who know who their connection is. You may have someone who's a divine complement who also complements you, but they're not your twin. And in the beginning of time, it was where it was written in scriptures, okay, where the males had more than one female, and they call it like polygamy or something, or more than one wife or something in different, countries that this existed. In actuality, it was the feminine, the female. It started from the female first. The female did not come from a man's rib. The males came from the woman's womb space, the vagina. That's where it started. And so the female, the feminine, gives birth to the son, the S-U-N, the S-O-N. And as she gives birth to the son, reborn, he becomes her husband. And then the cycle continues on. And then, we have different gene species and pools of genes that were set up in different countries, you see. So that's why it's not necessary to get tight, as we say in our lingo. No, don't get tight over what name is used in one country or one aspect to the next. We are coming back to the truth of things, yes, because as I speak and I talk about how it started in the beginning, how it started in Atlantis and Lemuria, when things started to fall apart, things started to fragment. Because twin souls, we separated ourselves because we were androgynous in the beginning, and we separated so we can gain knowledge and experience through what we know to be true. But we had to understand it. We wanted to know what it meant by bringing what we know into this physical experience. The soul desires to know itself through the experience by separating itself into this part of this fragmentation. And we fragmented in many, many, many ways. And so some of us may have come in as more than just having a twin, but someone who is a close match to your twin, that it makes you feel like, and it is possible, and it could be, that you're triplets. That's right. You heard me. Triplets. Because Spirit has been talking to me, and more women have been coming forward with this information. And so I'm being guided to share it right now. Because if a female can give birth to triplets, whether they are identical or fraternal, what makes you think that it doesn't exist as far as the soul is concerned? And so it has always been the female's desire to have her divine counterparts. That is how it was. She was the one that was walking the garden, and she's the one that had all of this intuition and what was coming together as far as the goddess of wisdom, the goddess of love, the goddess of joy, the goddess of strength, the feminine. And she desired companionship. And so this is where the divine husband, the true lover, came into place, you see. And it was only because as things started to shift and change, then the devil, the demon, we decided to demonstrate. Thank you, Tavon, with that. To demonstrate ourselves through the darkness. So the masculine turned away from his feminine counterpart, turned away from tuning in, turned away from, wanting to be in control of how things can happen without having to tune in. And the feminine, she tuned in, but then there was something for her to come into balance with empowering herself and not giving her power away. So another message that I also received through my own experience and also dreams and speaking to other divine feminines is that you're to put yourself first. You're to put yourself in a category of being number one. You are the chief. They said that there was a time when they said that he had the lesser wives and then he had the chief wife. Well, this is not about having a lesser wife and a chief wife. It's placing yourself as number one. You are the queens. Queens must rise first. She must rise first within herself. And to remember who she is, as she remembers who she is, then so does her divine counterpart, because it's a frequency. Each one of us are connected to our own frequencies with ourselves and our kings, okay? And I'm using this in a reference as far as males and females for now in this way. So because I know that there's some of us who embody the feminine more in a male body, and some who embody the masculine energy more in a female body, and vice versa. So I'm using male and female for all intensive purposes as far as what's happening here beyond procreation, beyond in how we all show up in this form and higher expression of love. And so the three main things that Spirit is guiding me to mention is that let go of what category or what circumstances is surrounding your twin. If you know that you are presented with an opportunity to speak with your twin or your divine counterpart, be around them, do not be in fear of what their status is. Do not be in fear, because your souls brought you there to surpass that. Because if you leave out of your body physically, that person is not attached to color of skin or background, or whether they're married or divorced, or whether they had children. You don't need to wait on love. Just be that love. Be the love of your life, and be in love and stay there and stay connected. See? There's no need to have to go on to something else or someone else because you feel it's too complicated. Life and people and human beings make things complicated. There's too much emphasis on labels. There's too much emphasis on what happened last year and the year before that. There's so much that is being held on to. Allow yourself to move through all of that and work through your own healing and what triggers you, what comes up, so you make more room for this love. See? Stay authentic. Align with your truth. If you know you're in love with that person, you're in love with that person. It's time to walk away from all the things that are fake and doesn't serve us, because everything is breaking down. We're in a new year. It's an 11 year. It's a master number. You are moving through a higher path of self-mastery. We are all on a path of self-mastery within ourselves, and we're coming together collectively with these divine marriages in the physical. It is templating in the physical aspect as well. It's not just emotional and mental or astral. It is also physical. But for it to happen to a place where you're not just coming together, but coming together harmoniously. This is about coming into a harmonious union. Be patient with yourselves. Anything that you see that's showing up in your space that is painful, hurtful, or you're irritated, annoyed, you're angry, if you need to curse, curse it out. If you need to laugh, laugh it out. However you're able to do it. Because what's happening is that everything that's showing up as chaotic with all of this, it is still coming together in harmony, because in order to achieve this harmony, we are going to have the chaos. We're going to have things that are seemingly, unexplainable, because once again, the veil is so thin. It is extremely thin. It's now where your eyes are becoming more open. And this is the part that they talk about the sin and saying that Eve is the one that caused the destruction of the world, when actually the story is that we allowed ourselves to connect to the feminine aspect, where she's able to see through things, to see through the glass darkly. You know, 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Love. The way to love. The way to love. The way to true love is what this is all about, you know? That's what this is all about. Let me read this to you. The way of love. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I'm a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give away all I have, and if I deliver up my body to be burned, but have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It doesn't insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when the perfect comes, the partial will pass away. When I was a child, I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. I spoke like a child. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I have been fully known. So now faith, hope, and love abide, these three, but the greatest of these is love. And so when I think of that, you know, I remember when I first started out recording for this book, and I told my aunts that Spirit told me to refer to that scripture, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, because it's one of the main scriptures in the entire biblical time frame. And we're still in the biblical time frame. Who says that it's not? And so what I'm saying is that everything and all the labels and all the circumstances and all the experiences and all the outcomes and all the projections and all of the expectations, after you put all of it together, and all the pain and all the sorrow and all the grief and all the lies and all these things, truth, everything, when we let go of it all, when you leave out of your body, all that's left is, did you love? Are you staying true to your love, true to your heart? What is true for you? See? So move towards that love. And I'm speaking of energetically, within your heart and soul. Listen to your inner guidance. Listen to what is being shown to you. Listen to what is coming forth for you, for your highest and best. You will not be steered wrong. It is always, always going to be on the right path. There are no rights and wrongs. It just is. It just is. So I just wanted to deliver that message for you before I play these tonal language. And if you need to listen to it more than one time, please do so for yourselves. And just know that as you walk out there, each and every one of us is doing something to shift within ourselves and help others to shift, to help others to find themselves, to remember yourselves, to awaken to yourselves. This time frame is about what is coming through in this Christ consciousness, the brides, you know. This is about the brides, the bride of Sophia, being ready, as we are bringing together ourselves in this marriage that is happening already. We are, whoever your twin is, whoever you're connected to, you are already alchemically married to that person. Whatever partners that they're with or whoever, they're just there as a stepping stone to coming back to the true self. They're an aspect of you. See? There is nothing to fear but fear itself. There is no such thing as running from yourself or the others running from you. The soul is coming together in its way that it must face the contrast. It must face the opposite of itself. And even during the opposite of itself, when I was in the room with my relatives, there were parts of me that represent me as them. That's the opposite of me. But I'm able to come together through this union of myself, through the opposite of myself and what's reflecting through me as me. as we are, as God, as this consciousness that comes together in truth, light, and love, even through what may seem dark, may seem dismal, may seem sad, but it's still you, it's still me, it's still us, and we're still coming together. It's all synchronizing. It's all synchronizing. So I leave you with so much peace, joy, and love in this new year, in this new beginning, in this new time frame. And all I can say is, again, live authentically, be yourself, stay in your power, stay in your truth, speak up, do not be afraid. You do not have to be in any fear any longer as being backlashed or that something will happen because you speak your truth or live your truth or who you are to be with. It doesn't matter what anybody else says or how anybody else feels. This is the time when I always said before, in order to enter into this type of kingdom of heavenliness, in order to be in the space where you actually are living freely and being free and being in this truth, you must be born again and you must unfuck yourselves. And you have to be at a point where at a place where you give no fucks. If you have any fucks to give, then you're going to keep missing the mark. You keep missing all of the opportunities that you have to be in this divine expression of love. And so it is. So I shall now play the tones as it is now 9:25. And it is tones that are flowing through from myself, and then Mo is responding to what's coming through to me. And then there are some instances where I am speaking, and there's also instances of where I am singing. I send you so much love, light, and peace, my brothers and sisters. Namaste. It's finally happening. Oh my God.
Che non mi sala te shehra biki to libera te se che non mi debla e non mi to sum de pakan me che non ti pira pera cosini betare che non deve e non motor mi shakon de sala petere che non mi sala kate shikoto soropita pata pishikoto de te ne metto koro mi daba e non makatro mi sala mi gitaro ko mi tra koto repita koto risi sama che non si kitane bi katara ba che non mi ne patlo to kuto poshu kuma ire che to kum nam da ira ko da sala me to soko te pira pata kushin me be Kuput talmanai nai tsansai rekte kedara kutukutun sunsore kedai mana nai kesari kedai kiri kutut kuptaman nai rekere aro kutukutun sai rektai nama nai tsari kata kutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutukutuk nama kanseri kiti kutu tutsu kutu arakta nama zakta kiti sinceri kiti na koso sudu kutu sabaneri ni menini kutu mana katareta rakatu ramana sari kiti sinceri kiti kutu tansai Chansai, Chonsa, Chatsai, Rikato Sansa, Chacha, Chonsai, Rikiti Chansai, Rikika, Kutu, the Patamana, it's a Kutu, Numanana, Rikatakare, Chansai, Rikata, Chansai, Numana, Chanson, Chukutu, Rukutu, Pata. Namana, Katansai, Rikiti, Manana, Chaskati, the Kutu, Ramana, Chatsai, Ra, Manana, Akata. Kansai sairi kinsi kuntun sunsai nama akatai ketataro kutu tsukratai na katotsa sa koton sunsi chinsai erka kutu pereketenso kutu ama chinsai kutu rakatoto nama ansansai sensei tukuton sa mono no rakta tata kutotson so tsara katata chinsai kitan santa okutu ama chinsai ama ketayo kutu ama ama Tekino mira patera kushni mira patera mira patera bisela kuno mira patera shula bete kuno mira patera ina mira patera buri bete sila bete kuno mira bete lo mira uri mira patera shula kena mari kena sila maketero misika to shula mira patera tu bete shula kena mara kuno shula keto bisela kuno mira patera kuno mira bisela teroba isela maketera kitara bi tero kuno mira mari terima keno montu turu mira bara patera shula mira patera shula patera keno subira ba ya makana mira kuno mira patera misema kita ira kusmish mira patera kuno mira sila maketera kuno shula mira patera Salamandela Petro, TV Ketramekitamito, Isala Shalakane, Etro, Irpeta Shimero Kundibiro Kundibira Patoputum, the Parapukundu, Petare Beturuba, Irama Kilometer Patakubi Salame, Hina Hanamara Kurumishla, but the Butushulame Suru Pitapatoso, Isalabete Kushimikit and Mikatosumikatamaketo, Surashkata. Đông đâm đông tôi đã bị nông đi để đến đâu còn nè ta đông đâm tôi đã nó này đông đông đi anh nhiều ông nhắm này ông sang đấy trâu nhắm này vậy tay nào ông đã cái sao mà tôi tôn đi để bị kinh đông đông đã đâm muốn đi mà tôi đi đâm đâm một mắm bảy muốn đi đấy đây đâu còn đi đấy anh thầy nó đến đâu cũng đến này nhanh nhanh lên đụng này nào đụng đây cái nó nhai nhung cái nhai tung động đi này nhung nhai nó mới này mong bằng đánh đàn đông ngùng đâm này nông đầm đây nông đầm cái nó nằm này nông nằm đông mầm đông cái nằm đông nông nang đông đông nó đây giờ nó tung đông con đi làm này này nè cái nó nằm đông này nè nằm này đầy nông đường đen cái nó này đang đàn con đèn đàn cái nó lên đàn đây nó đâm này là một种蛋，空洞蛋两种蛋种的，但侬那样当种蛋样弄蛋弄种弄营蛋弄蛋弄啊，大的这些，看你也出去他下一他一头哦，看你那出吹啦，他一出看来吹啦都冇吹啦。开哪的菜的，公的，开哪的菜的不去炒，开哪个干嘛？开哪家有个找炒，开哪的空开哪的炒，这样他还开了公呀，看哪一的，看哪他开哪菜的，看他炒到现在一炒，看你哪菜的，看出上来一炒，看那东西炒，他们那不炒这一种。cái làm mình tập quân thì không tôi chắc hẳn thì xây nào thế cũng là mình chào được thì cũng nào thì chắc ý ta ý nào mình tập quân thì thế không nào mình đã chào ý thu tham nào chào chỉ chào ý cho cũng đã mà chắc thế cái lòng nó cũng chạy nào cũng thu chú ý cái này nó chạy nói chân là cho con nhà chào ý thu số mi à chắc cái này chạy là con sao mà cho con ta phải được bộ thu số mi à ta xây lên thì tôi cho sẽ làm đã ý chào ý ta bảo 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요.
짜잔 선생 그좀 잘해나 아마 아까 찬찬 저 축구 도고 마 차차이세 이게 천사 이렇게 짠짠 저 너무나 아까 다리 짠차 이렇게 친치와 마 아마 아까 도와 마나 이거 천사 이렇게 짠신이 마나 이렇게 진짜 추추와 마카 천사 이렇게 짠짠 나나 자자라 마마 그자체 총콘통은 마냐 진짜 이거도나 마나 진짜 세리기 좀총 알자이나 마나 그자자 찬수 수로 마마나 나마 그찬찬 세리 그도 그도 바찬사 자라냐나 찬사 진짜 나마나 아까 찬찬사 전화마나 라 가찬사 제 기진 센세 그도 중중와 마마 적다이 나이나 마와 아와 오코토와 나마 짠짠 사이수 코토와 마 아나 짜짜이 까촌 사이 까까 우르까다 까까
한양대 안나 한양대 오 한양대 안나 한대 오 che non me ne va la mettere cuscina me ne pete sushi be ataria tu non mi da pata ira utoma ila mate tu shila me ne perché to su kutsi me na pata po sushi la me ne bete e se la mate kure be la pata shila be che tu non mi deve solo be shila bete con me deve solo kushila bata pata sushi be la pata rapa ila mate do kushila me do shila me ne bete do bi la bete la con me na pata pato e se la bete che non mi pete do kushila me ne bete e stundara pa khaira pa to shundara pa to rumbara e se la mete tundara pa to numara perché tu c'è un numero perché tu non mi dare perché tu sulle merere potoro sulle muro io vorrei minore per cantare per scendere potoro mi dare per tu andare per potonda ana me onda inde un nunda be nunde ani non mi vedere un nero manar per un na e un nero na per sciocco stare perché lo cuter bette sciole andare per onda scende beoa inde undare per onda hunde ramandora bera hinde romda hinde umbara hinde unde unde hinde handa hande hai tashunde hande susiriba hinde unde ba eshe kitari sudira marida hinde ra hinde ra hinde ha hinde ha My dear, I can only say that the full moon has brought forth all these divine codes and what is to come forth for humanity and what's coming to integration as we are embarking on this 11 master year. And so you and I come forth with these keys and codes for the Twin Soul Collective and what is coming forth as these templates are now taking form in physical manifestation. And this is truly a divine calling. I was feeling all of these ancient codes that were flowing through my soul is what to come out in these tones and frequencies. Yes. As we become centered and one with this Christ consciousness and what it is bringing forth through us, for us, to us, with us. Divine Mother, Father God, we thank you for this moment. We thank you for this day. We thank you for what comes forth as truth, love, true love, light, wisdom. As the goddesses have risen within herself, so too has Kishana, the divine God, has risen within himself. as we are bringing forth the greater glory of these unions and what it means, as we are all creating this third energy, as this light just beams and permeates through each and every cells of our bodies, each and every cells of our thoughts, each and every cells of everything that we are putting out there. Peace.
Ay mana akataro koto fonsoro koto warama ay narika maina ono matsansa eke tsinso uma maina mono katayin se kataro koto uma
Unine tiene que to kono nine kono keke kono ina mo ama keke kono ina mama kama papa tata kusunu tata ma uta uita apa kaka kunine ma eno nunda makani da chaka ito sonu ibata ite ito kunku kono a mia gocho ko ina mere pa ina momo kucho ina makane ine ko nene eketo uita papa inda kunim la mene kenu ina mama kana na cheda ko te ninta posini no konime ne me muna kena mama machaka no isana hitai no ina ma papa ni ne bato no ina ma ina no ina ba ena machana ita kani keno ita pa sana ne chela tine ito soko no ni ne me kena na mana chena ita ka ina ko ino so no charo ita hami ita posu ye shele beto ko ira ba ana ma buku do hira ma kane me na ku chana me se eta me ekeno uina ma ete ne me ku ine ma kene me ko ni me na ma ete kero uye me ma ene be ko do no ina ma ita shala ma kati chalene esene no isata tene me kero ira keno shala mata sene me on me ino mo soro shala patana me ki osira ana mata repeto sho mera pesano tu selama pesano me well, the tones that came through from you, I was immediately getting an image. I was back in one of these African villages, and it's like I was hearing the name Yoruba, Kamanami, Tapo Sushilama. And this had to do with the feminine, and she was separated from her husband, her divine counterpart, and they were pulled away. And this was during an ancient time in history. And so these codes are coming through from our ancestors, Tarushinama, that's in the continent of Africa. And I was in Europe with the Italian ancestors. Our Asian ancestors. Kelo chamito isa tendo palo to shunu baba tamudida ina makane bakunde la patampoto soto shilama ina la kinda palo ita tamu ita ita. I'm back in African continent, so my soul has been traveling to many continents, many countries. The Shulumida, Portuguese, Portugal, Kondere Kioli Pushuni, Porto Shulubetendo Bara Patoisare. Animela Nido Sidibero, Shui di Barese, Don Chushundera Pa. So we're releasing the frequency of the separation that has taken place throughout our ancestral blocks. Yes. And bringing ourselves back into a greater space of healing and peacefulness, and knowing that whatsoever has been blessed by the divine, so it shall be, so it is. As we are templating the Christ consciousness of these divine marriages that have been blessed from the beginning of creation, sanctified by the Holy Spirit. And so we give thanks on this day, this full moon energy, as we're releasing the emotions that have been felt and brought through all of our ancestors, and the lineage that has carried on, that has produced the mental illnesses, the emotional illnesses, the physical illnesses, that the views and the perspectives that have been placed on relationships and marriages, that we are no longer holding onto the frequency of separation consciousness, and that we remain steadfast in being in our truths and authenticity, in divine, true, sacred love. And so it is.
And those are the codes that were flowing through to me. And all I can hear Spirit say is that we are being reborn. It's a rebirth, renewal. Everything is being reset, and it is being done over again in a new way. And as I finish off with this, I'm going to leave you with an article that I'm being led by, called The Fountain of Life. It was put out there since 2015, but it still has the same message. And it is titled The Return of the Feminine, Rebirth of the Masculine. Because as you know, that the portals, we are in, major portals are opened up now. And so that's why it feels like as if you're sucked into a vacuum, and it feels like you're going through pain and chaos and things that may not make sense to you, because you're being reborn and redone over, reliving through some things so you can release it, and then there's something new that's coming forth that is within you. And as you allow yourself to go through these changes, your external world is also changing at the same time. So you may be affected by electronics as well, electronic stuff breaking down or not working anymore. So allow yourself once again to go through these birth changes, to go through these different elements that are affecting you. And so I'm going to read the article now, The Return of the Feminine, Rebirth of the Masculine. What does this mean? How is womb power rebirthing our lives? This is by Serene Bertrand. December 21st, 2012 begins the dissolution of masculine brain linear time and the start of the feminine brain eternal now. When we align with galactic center, an important womb hole in the universe connected to the cosmic womb, vast amounts of black light will be transmitted to us, awakening our wombs, haras, and activating our dormant feminine DNA. Black light is pure love, direct from the womb of creation. It is what we are truly made of. Astronomers have confirmed there is a huge black hole in the center of our galaxy, which births and swallows stars. and also birthed our earth and sun. Mayans call this Hunabku, mother womb, and believe it is our ultimate creator and a portal to other galaxies. There is a wave of love frequency that is transmitting to Earth that will begin to change our world from a paradigm of fear and suffering, birthing it into love and harmony. For many thousands of years, Earth has been a dimension of fear and pain. We have learned through pain, grown and transformed through pain, suffered through pain, healed through pain, created through pain. Our greatest mystics and teachers have taught how to transcend or alchemize pain. Our greatest artists have been inspired to greatness through deep suffering, transforming pain into beauty. Into our mother's wombs, we are imprinted with pain. Her anxiety, her fear, her suffering, her confusion, her contraction molds us. We are even birthed by labor pains. Our mother's pain actually genetically modifies us. It rewires our systems to expect, experience, and receive pain and fear rather than love and pleasure. Our childhood traumas also imprint us with pain, and slowly we stop truly reaching out to give and receive love fully. We expect to be hurt, lied to, betrayed. We also betray, lie, and hurt others from our wounds. Born into this personal and collective pain imprint, we look to truth or light to heal us. This is the information or knowledge that brings us out of denial, that shines a torch into our darkness. It points out our painful patterns. It drops us to our knees until we're ready to change. Everyone has experienced positive transformation through the pain of truth, but even this contains a pain imprint that somehow we must suffer to learn. Some spiritual philosophy even teaches that life is a school of suffering. And so now I'm changing up some of this because I just wanted to bring it into that space of where I'm going with this, is that the personal and collective pain imprint is no longer how we're doing this, okay? We're going to use truth and light to move through the pain that we may have and what we perceive to be pain. This is this information or knowledge that brings us out of denial, that shines a torch into our darkness. It points out our painful patterns. It drops us to our knees till we're ready to change. And that's what I said. What Spirit told me is that anyone who is still allowing themselves to keep going through suffering, it's just going to be at a point now, because of the veil being so thin, where you're going to come to so much surrender based on how many different things are happening in our lives. And it is not of, anything that is evil. It is just what comes up that is within you, that it has to, the light has to shine on it. And so every person that comes into your space that you feel affected, that is what is coming to light through that pain, through what seems dark to you, what feels like pain to you. Okay. And so what this is the true and everlasting breakthrough comes only when we surrender to love, not being in denial or resistance to it. See? And what this does, it allows us to receive a huge amount of black light, which is pure love, into our DNA. This will begin to rewire us genetically if we're open to receive it. It reminds us that we are love. And that's what's happening. We're being rewired genetically. That is what is happening through this Christ consciousness, this Christ light. And we are being reborn. Even when I was driving, I think it was day before yesterday, I saw a vehicle that I've seen every year, just about since my twin found me, and the license plate says re-life. And so when I saw it, it was confirmation coming from Spirit that life is beginning anew again. Something new is starting. The 555s. I am not the same person I was 2 weeks ago. I am not the same person I was 6 years ago. I'm not even the same person I was yesterday, because even myself, I have shifted through some more belief systems that is surrounding when it comes to deep love and where it takes us deeply. And so to read further on, it says, our hearts, wombs, and cerebellum, the womb of the brain, the seat of the feminine consciousness, are the receptive portals of black light. Our logical mind isn't. This cosmic alignment with the womb center will awaken our own wombs with powerful waves of love frequency. As we receive more black light, we also begin to transmit black light, and we become magnetic. We attract our soulmate, pleasure, bounty, abundance, creative opportunity, and good fortune. We begin to learn through these these positive experiences instead of pain. We begin to create from love and also to feel all the ways we have been separated from love. This is quite a journey, and we begin to realize that our deepest fear, what we have blocked out and resisted at all costs, was always love, pleasure, and abundance, our birthright. Experiencing deep love and pleasure opens us to the wounds of our lost innocence, our shame, our insecurity, our lack of self-love, where we feel we do not deserve these gifts, where we fear that they will be taken away. As we feel and release through the gift of love, we heal and become even more magnetic. We attract even more love and good fortune into our lives to learn from. This is the feminine way, which will fully delete all our trauma patterns and rebirth us and our world. Allow this to sink into your wombs, your hearts, your feminine consciousness. Ask to receive black light, surrender to love, and open deeply to the possibility of learning through love and pleasure, not pain. Feel how life wants to give you everything you desire, how many gifts beyond your wildest imagination are waiting to flow towards you and transform you and taking you deeper into love. Imagine Earth as a place of bounty, a paradise, not a school of suffering, but an experience of deeply embodied love and pleasure where love comes alive. And that's the end of the article. And this is what we're doing. We're bringing love back to life again. And it's starting out through twin souls bringing love back to life again. And that you don't have to feel ashamed to feel love. You don't have to feel ashamed if you are feeling this attraction and this connection to someone that you're connected to with this love, because that person is not within their true frequency of who they are matched with from the soul level. And you see, anyone who is not coming together with those that they're attracted to on a soul level, the soul is going to keep bringing the experiences of the opposite and the confusion and the chaos and the sorrow and all these things, until when you realize to surrender to the true love of that which has been brought to you, paradise. So I leave you with these words of wisdom. I leave you with this light. I leave you with this truth. I leave you with an essence of purity of where we are coming from and where we're here now, not heading back to, we're here now in this light. And I am so thankful and grateful for these messages that are flowing through each and every one of you, that is permeating through your soul, that is permeating through every part of your being, and that we no longer have to suffer, and that we are living our truth in love and being in love and staying in love. And so it is. Much love, peace, and blessings.